Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Natalie and this is the Seaside Sewist. So I am literally going to do a sewing room tour today. I've just had this room redone, so everything is a lot tidier than it ever was. Whether it'll stay that tidy, I don't know, but I'm literally going to take you just through my sewing room and show you the main bits of that. Now I do share this room with like my wardrobe and that sort of thing, so it is all mixed in, but I'm just going to show you the sewing stuff, so I will insert that now. So as we first come into my sewing room, I've got this little sign that I got made, oh god, when I first started sewing, and I think this was from a shop on Etsy, so if they're still on there I'll link it in the description box below. So it says, Natalie is busy sewing, do not disturb. And I just think that's a lovely little sign for my door as you first go in. So then we come into the room. Now I've got a set of drawers here. Now this is obviously a set of drawers. I've explained that this is also like where my wardrobe and stuff is. So I've got a IKEA set of drawers here that have, you know, knickers, socks, t-shirts, that sort of thing, and then I've got like a little makeshift dressing table affair at the top here with all my lotions and potions and things on. We then come to my window. So this is my new Roman blind that I made, and the fabric is from Minerva, and it's lovely. It's like a cotton canvas, and then it's got all these colours running through it, so I just thought that was a nice pop of colour after the white brightness of the room. We then so there's the outside. Hello. I am a plant mama, so I have grown this aloe vera from a baby, and it is now huge. So I've got a couple more that I am sort of growing in here. This one at the back here desperately needs repotting, so I need to do that, I think shortly. You've got that and another one to do. And then I've got my little candle here, so that's that little area. And then we come on to my desk, so I'll just stand back and show you like the desk. It's a hemness from IKEA, and I also bought the top to put on it as well, so it's got all my bits and bobs in there. So probably start from the top of the desk actually, and so this is where the majority of my patterns are. So we've got these ones really aren't in any order, so these are kind of all like random pattern companies and patterns, and they really need sorting out. We've then got like another miscellaneous folder, and then I have been quite organised here, and we've got a Tilly in the buttons folder, and we've got a sew over it folder. This one, so for example, I'll get this down and show you how they are stored, and probably destroy everything on the way down. So I've got the Tilly in the buttons folder down here. So for example, you open it and I've got these plastic wallets, but they also go into a reliever arch file, and we've got like the Stevie and a traced pattern there of that, the Joe pyjama bottoms and the traced out thing of that. We've got the Eden raincoat, which I'm making later on this year, the Seven dress. So everything is just in there with any of the bits and bobs that I have cut out of those. Then we've got a little folder. I've got all the So Hayley Jane subscription magazines, because there's some good tips in there. I don't get that subscription anymore, I'm afraid, but yeah, it just wasn't working for me anymore. We've got the sewing book. Now this, if you can get this book from anywhere, is a fantastic book. It's like an encyclopedia. Encyclopedia of sewing. It's great. So make it yours with me G. Then I've got a couple of cross stitch books, and then things like my iPad keyboard and a couple of notebooks. Up here I've got a couple of teddies. My friend bought me this little leprechaun back from Ireland, and then I've got a couple of Etsy items that I've made that are just on there. This isn't just a random Heineken bottle, it is one that my husband brought back for me with a message on when he went to the Heineken Museum in Amsterdam. I've then got a pot of knitting needles behind there as well, and this is a little pug with a tongue that comes out, which is a tape measure, but it's not coming out. That must have got jammed when I was moving everything. We've then got my overlocker, and it's the one that was sold in Lidl a couple of years ago, and it's the Singer S14-78. Well, it's temperamental. I jammed the blades of that when I was making a very thick chunky jumper. Never really been the same since, but I have had it serviced, so that's all we can do with that, but for now it's fine. Right, on to some of the shelves. So I am an Emma Bridgewater collector. This is not my first piece, but a replacement of my first piece, because my husband bought this for me as my first piece and broke it, so he rebought it, so it now lives up here. I've also got the teapot, which I do use, but I'll leave it up here. Milk jug, some of my stationery for my Etsy shop, and then going down to here I've got things like my file of facts with my personal admin, some children's books that I use for my Etsy shop, book sleeves and things like that. This ugly little rabbit is my first crochet animal that I did, and he was going fine till I put a crazy little face on him, but I love him and he lives on there. This light, my auntie actually bought it for me for my birthday last year, and it's like the daylight light saving bulbs, daylight light saving light. So it's got like LED bulbs underneath there, and it is I think it was from Lidl, and it was about £15, but it's fantastic, and I've never sewn better with it since. So we'll leave that on. Actually, it's quite a dull day today. Then we have got this magnetic pin holder, and this I bought from the first knitting and stitching show that I went to in Harrogate a couple of years ago from Ethel and Joan. So it's like a resin purple, and it just obviously collects all your pins on there. And another couple of like a little tray just with little bits and bobs that I kind of don't want to have a home. What is in this little drawer? I think I've got things like tea bags and things like that that I add to orders, and some little, I could actually use these because it's the spring now, some little ladybird, stick on ladybirds, so they're cute. So just things like that in the drawer. So we now move on to this middle bit. I've got a little Paige Joanna postcard that I got in a Sew Hayley Jane box. Here we've got a little Liberty pin cushion that I got the first time I went to Liberty's. Couple more, well, that's Emma Bridgewater, that's the Meghan and Harry one from when they got married. And then there's a New York one there. We've got a couple of tins, and that's where I keep my clips. what have we got here? So I've got Stitch Crafts UK, which is my Etsy shop. That's for doing photographs and things like that. Then we move on to here. So I've got sort of SIM cards, a little tin with some labels in, my proper camera, but I've actually started using my phone for filming now. So I'm working on that. We've got a box of button and threads, which these kind of all came with So Haley Jane boxes, so they're all sort of random colours, but we're getting through them. Another holder with my bobbins in. The Foxglove and Field pattern weights. So these are the ones that I got. They're lovely. I do like them very, very much. And I've also got the pin cushion, which is here at the side of it. I also keep all my overlocker thread on this shelf as well. Then we go down to this bit where I've got like a tin with zips and bias binding. There's a little jar of buttons and this lovely little Singer like magnet that I got from Malaga last year when we went. My little craft iron, and I've got a tailor's ham and just some things like fabric glue and some fray check. So this is my sewing machine. It is the Brother Innovis F420, and that was an upgrade from a basic Janome. I bought this through lockdown and I absolutely love it. I've got a little pin cushion there, and then a couple of pots here. So this was the original mug to this one up here, but my husband broke the handle, so it's now in a little pot. So it's now used as a little pot, and it's got things like crochet hooks and stuff like that. I've got a little Harry Potter Potion Master one here as well, with bits and bobs in. I bought this little bowl from Malaga last year as well, and it's literally just got things that I'm using throughout, like projects. So there's a couple of threads in there at the minute, and my walking foot and my overlocker tweezers. So, and then here I just have my cup of tea, and it always goes cold. So that is that with that one. So this desk has a cupboard on one side and drawers on the other. So in the drawer here, I've got a random tape measure. I've got like I tend to keep in here, so I make stitch markers as well. So I've got a big box of all the different elements to make stitch markers, and another one there, and just random like latch hook bits and bobs. So they live in that one. And then this part is like a filing cabinet, which is always absolutely overfilled. So this has mainly got patterns for kids' clothing that I used to make, so I just used to keep it all in there, and it kept it all together. Moving underneath the desk, so it is quite a deep desk, so you can get quite a lot in. I've got some cross stitch things in here, scrap wool that I can use for stuff, different bits, crochet and knitting projects that are going on here. This big box has all my toiletries in. I've got a sewing box and then a ring light, and then at the minute I've got, since I've done my room, I've got what I'm going to call my sort of work in progress. So I've got some more of that fabric left. I'm going to make a cushion for my desk chair, and then I've got a bit of tulipping going on at the minute, and just a couple of bits and bobs that I'm working on there. So at the minute that is living up there, out the way. Big bag of ribbon here. Whenever I need ribbon for anything, I just drop in there. So as I said, the other side is a cupboard. This is probably a bit of a mess, even though I have tidied it up. So in the top here, I have all made items that are on my Etsy, so I can just go and get those out. And this is all like scraps of fabric for just like cottons, quilting cottons, things like that. Scraps that I need to use up and make things with, but you know how it goes. So I have sort of had a little tidy out of that. But that's a work in progress. So that is the desk. So we're now going to move on to my little trolley. These are the IKEA trolleys. I got this one from Hobbycraft, and it just fits nicely in between the wardrobe and the desk, and I can just pull it out. So in the top here, I've literally just got a bit of stationery, some of these plastic mesh wallets that I use for a lot of things now, and I literally bought these little stackable things the other day. So in this one I've got some Tula Pink that I'm working with, and I've kept all the scraps together, so that works for me. On the second tier of it, I've literally got fabric. That's an overspill of my fabric. There's no rhyme and reason to why some of it is in the wardrobe and some of it is in here. It's just as I buy it and it goes in and it fits. And then the bottom tier is literally just some things like I've got some threads in a tin, some wadding, just like miscellaneous bits and bobs in there. And then in front of that I have got my little sewing kit that keeps everything together. This is an absolute mess. This is probably a totally different video, but it's got all your different tiers there with all your different things in. The bottom one is probably more of a mess than anything, because I've literally just got stuff all over, but if I need anything, that is my kit. If you would like to see a video of me literally trying to tidy this, then I can do that for you. So that's that. It's great for sort of carrying up and down stairs when I'm cutting out or taking to my socials, and I think that was like a £5 from Hobbycraft, and I love it. So this is the big 5-door wardrobe that I put in. So as you can see, it's got a middle section of mirror there, and my wardrobe is in those two halves, and the middle bit I have got all my craft stuff in, so we're going to go through that now. So this is the inside. I've shelved it all, and it is actually tidier than what it looks. So I think we'll start from the bottom here. So this is double depth of fabric. So this is my fabric stash in here. I can make that a completely different video if you want. I was on Stash Hub yesterday and I've got 39 pieces of fabric, which compared to other people isn't a lot at all. But you can see how small the area is that I have for my sewing, and so I need to keep it as concise as possible. This is a sewing machine trolley that my mum and dad bought me for my birthday last year. So I use this to take my sewing machine to my socials. When it's not in use, it goes back in here and it is filled with the A3 mesh holders with all my works in progress in, all my cut out things, so that all lives in there. So I did go the other day and buy some of these collapsible storage boxes, so I'm going to get them out one at a time. I'm still sort of tidying here, so I'll have like random stuff like a couple of books like that in there and things like that. So I'm going to get these all out one at a time. So I've got like 2, 4, 6 of them, so we're going to go through those. So the first one is sort of my wool knitting crochet stash. When I went to Leeds the other week, I bought enough balls of wool, so in all different colours that matched my blind, and I'm making a crochet blanket, so they're just in there at the minute. I'm practicing knitting with this, but it's not particularly going very well, but that's that one. And then I've just got some different projects, so I'm using A4 ones of these mesh blankets for other crafts. I've got things in here like sock yarn that I've bought, a couple of different sock yarns, a couple of different yarns from a project that I'm working on, circular needles, that sort of thing. So I've just gone through everything in my stash and literally put every craft in a certain box. So that was very therapeutic doing that, because I can literally just go to a box now and know that there's going to be that project or that wool in there. So the next box on that shelf was one that I've made up that is bag making. So at the minute I've got the redwood taupe cut out. I'm actually doing a sew along, so it's all cut out, but I haven't got any further, so everything I need is in there. And then I've literally got together everything that I think goes for bag making: interfacing, bits of leather, bits of cork, zips, things like that. So I've put them all in the same box, so when I want to make a bag, get everything out and see what I've got and what I haven't. Again, great organisation. So that was the first shelf. We'll move on to the second one. So the next shelf has a box with cross stitch. So there's all these little hoops. This one isn't actually cross stitch, it's a little kit that I bought to make a cushion, but that's gone in there. That's not actually cross stitch either, it's a lunar lapping that I'm making. Miscellaneous cross stitch bits there, and then just a couple of kits that I'm working on. So Little Women, there's a Christmas one in there. So these are all just kits that I've got, but I've just put everything together so I can just go. Everything was piled up before. I kind of should have done a before picture, but I might be able to find so this bit here at the side of the trolley just used to be piled high with stuff, and it was just really overwhelming. The next box is Christmas, so we've got some Christmas cross stitches. I made some of them last year, but I did have some left over, so I'll try and do some this year. I've got a random bag of scraps of tartan and Christmas fabric there. And then I got a First for Fabrics festive box, and I've literally emptied it into here. So we've got things like felt and things to make, just like everything to make Christmas things. So about September time, I think I'll come to this box and start getting bits and bobs out like that. Also on that shelf was some wadding and some toy stuffing, but I've put it in one of those vacuum packed bags you use with the Hoover, so that can just fit in dead easy. So that was that shelf. And then the top shelf has a box with sort of, these are more miscellaneous things. So I'm supposed to be crocheting a jumper out of this yarn, but I've been doing it for about 2 years. And again, total miscellaneous box, some cordless scissors, some, that looks really random, but it's rice for like pattern weights and lavender bags and things like that. So just bits of bias binding and, you know, things like pinwheels and stuff like that. So I'm actually starting a project where I might need that red bias binding, so we'll take that out. So that was a good find. So yeah, that was literally that shelf, and I also had some random patterns on there that I'm trying to tidy up. So just ones that I was using at the back end of last year, like the Marnie, the Tilly and the Buttons Billy, so really they need to go back into that big folder. The Marigold, a new one that I bought, which is the Davenport. That Birder 6740 that I used to make my husband's dressing gown. And just, you know, a couple of other ones. I actually need that because I'm going to do a review of this pattern later on today. So did you enjoy my sewing room tour? Let me know in the comments below how you store and organise your stash and your sewing and crafts. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you don't already do so. Thanks, until next time, bye.